sweet, but it's not bad. And I also realized, yo, we're at the end of the summer, which is odd to even think about. Really odd to think about. But today we're going to be talking about leadership and how we may be thinking leadership should be. Now, I think that we think leadership is sometimes control, and I want to talk about it a little bit. And I hope that you're also all having a great week. Before we even get into that, I hope you're having a blessed week. But yeah, let's kind of talk about it because when people think about leadership, we often picture control, but that's not even the truth, right? Leadership is having the ability to lead, but it also has to do with having the ability to assist, right? And oftentimes when we think about leadership and like, the head of the household, leader of the pack, things like that, I think it takes away from what a good leader really is and what the qualities of a good leader are. So let's waste no time and let's get right into it. Um, because leadership is has nothing to do with control. And leadership is about assisting, it's about guiding and walking people through, it's about protecting, also walking alongside people as well. And let's break this down a little bit when it comes towards leadership. We have to be open to listening first, understanding first, um, being open to accountability. That's a massive one when it comes towards a good leader. Leadership is not all about just sitting there and pointing and telling and directing of what people need to do or should do. A good leader, a good leader will notice when energy is shifting and making it in a point to make a change, uplift the energy or remove any negative energy that's going on. A good leader is one there who's going to be able to assist, you know what I mean? One there that's going to be able to show up and just be there. Like for example, if you notice something is wrong or something is missing in your household, most simplistic thing, you don't wait till anybody says, "Oh, we're running out." You just go and you do it. You get it done. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's examples of a good leader. And instead of commanding, we're gonna assist. I often think about when I am studying or if I am doing research when it comes towards my practice and the things that I do. A good leader alongside will give you space. You know what I mean, to do what you need to do to get done. Help you study, find articles. Hey, I noticed this. Like, have you read this? Like, that's just a couple of examples of how you can assist versus command and helping people unlock their own potential. That's examples of a good leader. And another key principle of leadership is guiding with vision. If you're trying to be a leader and you don't have a vision even for yourself, you cannot lead anyone. I'm going to say that again. If you are trying to say that I'm a leader, but you don't have any form of idea or vision of how you are going to lead yourself, like think about it this way. Are you going to follow somebody that doesn't even have the idea of how to lead their own life, but they want to lead yours? Probably not. And a good leader also knows when they need to step back, maybe gain the tools and come back again. Those are attributes to a good leader. And setting the direction and not dictating every move. Knowing and being able to, I mean, common sense is a massive part of being a good leader as well. But knowing and being able to make and take the next step. Like I want you to think about if your GPS, because a lot of us we depend on GPS maps to get around. I myself, I do it all the time. Even personally, I do it for traffic if I need to detour. But I remember particularly there was one evening, actually most recently, I was coming back from a workshop, and I was in a part of my city where I haven't been in a very long time, and I was going to the opposite end, and I haven't done that probably in like years when I used to work downtown in corporate. And luckily enough, I was able to remember just how I got there. My cell phone was completely down. Like I had no bars, no nothing. No matter what I did, it said no service. And for that whole hour and a half, I just said, okay, look, AJ, we're just going to use our common sense and we're going to get back home, and it is what it is. As long as we know what direction is where we live, we're going to follow that direction. Luckily enough, I just used my old wits that I had for so many years. And that's the crazy part, because sometimes when we depend on these devices, we lose our way of just maneuvering around. And a good leader has to kind of keep up with that. And again, luckily enough, I was able to remember where I had to go in the direction I had to lead myself. And I made it back in the area I needed to make it back in. But depending on the tools all the time may not always be easy and be readily available. So sometimes I had to really think about it. Okay, like I know what direction I need to go. I know where I need to go. I just need to kind of backtrack and follow the way I got here. If you don't have any sense of vision of where you want to go, many people will not lead with you, like allow you to lead. They will not follow behind you. But if you have a direction of where you want to go and they sense it, because it's a sense of poise, a sense of how you carry yourself, they'll know, all right, that's a good leader right there. I know I could follow behind them. And that's just not just in relationship as one. That's also in your career as well, your personal and professional life. Because if it got down to it, you're having, let's say, a natural disaster or something like that. Are you going to be a leader or follower? But at the same time, I want to emphasis on this. A good leader knows to also sometimes follow. A good leader knows, all right, maybe you have strengths in this category. I don't, but I'm gonna fall back so that you can lead. I can assist if you need me to, but I'm gonna fall back if you need me to lead. And I think, and I typically don't talk about relationships as a whole, and I guess this is gonna segue there anyways. When we think about relationships, I do believe that there needs to be a person that is there to lead, because two leaders, it doesn't always work out well. I feel like two leaders are just going to constantly buck and hit the wall. But at the same time, if you want someone to allow you to lead, you have, okay, put it this way, you have to show the attributes that you are able to lead. Point blank, period. Nobody's going to follow behind you if you don't have it at all. No one's going to trust you if you don't have it at all. So when I hear people constantly say, particularly men, I'm just saying this to y'all, when I hear y'all say that we want to be the leader of the household, it's hard for women to trust those words if you're not showing the actions of leading your own life. I hate to say it. If you're not willing to show, it's kind of like you're saying you're expert in this, but you're not even practicing what you're trying to show someone. That's like me being a coach in self improvement mindset and personal development, and I don't even try to add those things to my life. That makes me a massive hypocrite. That makes me a person that's not following the word of what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, some of us will, like, especially those who help others, whether you're a therapist, counselor, social worker, coach, we have our moments where we still go through burnout and we have to catch ourselves. We still have our moments where we go through self doubt, negative thinking. The only difference is we have the tools where we can catch ourselves. But I think when it comes towards being a good leader, we've lost the plot of what makes a great leader. We think that just because you are this, you can lead. No, 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 no. That's not it at all. To make a good leader is a person that, again, knows when to listen first, knows when to assist, and allow the person, and you guide alongside a person, guiding with vision and not just complete blankness and blindness. And you're able to, the last one is empowering others. You're not like dictating what you want and what the person should do. It does not make you a good leader. But you also have to create the space for people to allow you to lead. If you are not creating a safe space for people to allow you to lead, no one's gonna even think you're a leader. Point blank and period. Like for example, a leader who jumps in with support and not micromanage. I cannot stand when people are behind my shoulders. And I've had many employers do that. And I had to very much let them know, like, look, honestly, I get it. You want me to get this done. I'm going to get it done. But you being over my shoulder is not going to work. You got to let me do my thing. And a good leader was saying, you know what? Bet, I got you. I'm going to allow you to do your thing. Another example is guiding someone through challenges instead of controlling the outcomes. You can't control a person's decision. You can't control the outcome of what could end up happening. You have to allow people to go through what they need to go through. And a good leader understands that. But a good leader also understands that you're going to stand back and be like, look, I'm here if you need me. If you need me to support you, if you need me to guide you, if you need me to just lean on, I got you. Or if you just need me to step in, I'm here. I'm here. And it's important as a good leader to mean what you say and say what you do. Stop saying that you're going to go back to school and you're not. It's been 5 years. What are we doing here? Stop saying that you're going to pivot into the career that you're in because you know that the place you work at has ample opportunity, but you're not doing anything because you're comfortable. What are we doing here? There's people that I know that pivot every like 6 to 8 months. And then eventually, when they get to the position where they want to be, they're like, all right, Gucci. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Celebrate your team wins instead of taking all the credit. Don't sit there and be like, yo, I can't believe I'm even going to say this. But specifically, yo, your kids are not your trophies. Just because you had them doesn't mean that you could celebrate their wins. You could be happy for them, 1,000%. But don't think just because you gave birth to them or you helped create them that their wins are yours. I mean, they are yours in a sense, but like, don't go bragging around like, yeah. No, yo. They did that. They did that. So don't internalize it and start taking credit for something that you did not do. And that goes again in jobs as well. I can't tell you how many times that people have sat back and taken credit of the work that I've done. Especially if you're a woman of color, especially if you're a person of color in general, they will do that. You've probably experienced something similar to that. I've experienced that multiple times. Multiple times. So the impacts the impact of this style of leadership, it builds loyalty and trust. Again, nobody is going to want you to be a leader or follow behind you if they don't trust you. If your words do not mean what they say and say what they mean, ain't nobody going to think you're even a leader. You could say it, but it doesn't mean that you are one. Second one, it encourages innovation. It creates leaders, not just followers. Again, everyone in some way has to be a follower. There's certain strengths that other people have that maybe you as a leader you do not have. But a good part of being a leader is saying, hey yo, I know you're good at such and such. I'm gonna allow you to step in and you can do it because this is your time to shine. You're great at this. That is you're assisting. I often think about leadership as basketball. I used to be a point guard in high school. And one of the things of being a point guard is obviously you're told by the coach what the play is, but sometimes you're not, right? And you have to step in that position. You got to grab the ball and you got to really think, okay, who am I going to pass the ball to make the shot? Who do I know is in the great position right now to make the shot? And often when I had the ball, first of all, I was the shortest one. Most point guards are not that tall. So I had to figure out and delegate and pass the ball to the people that I knew, okay, you got it, you got it, you got it. This is the way we're going to get it in. And then once I pass the ball off, they're like, okay, as from the leader standpoint, I pass it on to someone else. I know this is your strength, the position that you're in. They got to look and delegate, who can I pass it to now that the leader's giving it to me? Boom, you pass it to someone, lay up, dunk, shoot, whatever. My point is, a good leader understands when to step back to lead. So ultimately, leadership is not about power over people. Leadership is not about controlling people. And I think we've lost the plot when we think that leadership is control because it is not. It's not controlling your personal life. It's not controlling in your professional life. It's about walking with them, assisting when needed, guiding when they feel lost, and inspiring them to lead even themselves. Because we're all leaders in our own way. Again, going back to the analogy of being a point guard. If once I pass off the ball, that's another leader. They now have to figure out who they're gonna to pass the ball to. The person who gets it, they gotta figure out, lead, and take the shot. It's the same thing. We're all leaders in our own way, but it has nothing to do with control. We need to knock that shit off. Because leadership has absolutely, positively nothing to do with control. And I feel like we've lost the plot when we think that leadership is about who we control. And that's unfortunately the climate that we're in, where we think that leadership, it has everything to do with controlling relationships, our jobs. No, no. Leadership, it has everything to do with knowing when to assist, knowing when to step back, and knowing when to guide. That makes a good leader. That makes a good leader. Not when to just constantly dictate what a person should do, how they should do it, and when they should get it done. No, absolutely not. And if you're thinking right now that there's people in your life that are trying to dictate how you should move, how you should make, they are not leading you. If anything, they're hindering you. They're hindering you a tremendous amount. So, moving forward, whenever you think about leadership, it is not about control. It's about assisting, guiding, being there. That makes a great leader. All right. Now I'm about to go have some breakfast. I hope that you got some gems out of today's live session. And when you think about leadership again, think about assisting, thinking about guiding, not control. I will see you on Tuesday. We're gonna finish our series. Uh, I think we did Just Start series, so it's I did the Just Start, we did the why. Now we're gonna talk about the how in the last part of the series. So please keep a lookout for that. If you haven't already and you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My name is Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach. This is Successful Sundays. We're here live every Sunday at 11 a.m. And you all know what to do. Walk with peace, walk with love.